Good day, guys. Hope everybody's having a good day. And it's supposed to rain today, according to the forecast, but when I got up this morning, the sun was shining. I'm glad for that. Don't get me wrong, I'm not disappointed. I just wish that I had known the sun was going to be shining. I could have been doing other things, but that don't matter. Still not wasting the time while I have it. So we're going to try to plant this little peach tree that we have here, and this is the one that came up in the backyard. Now, as far as I know, this is called a Southland. It grew in some of our peach orchards that are south of us right here in a little community called Candor, North Carolina. And back in the day, I mean, guys, they had tons of peach orchards down there. They still have some, but nothing like they used to be. But this variety, that's where the seed came from. My mother and dad's got 2 trees now that came from that stock, and we've been planting and replanting these trees for several years, and I love the peach. It's not a great big peach, but it's a small peach, and it is a freestone, and it has the best flavor to it. So I'm going to try to transplant this. Now, this is on the north side of my house. I don't know how well that's going to be. You know, it's just a place that I have available. And I want to say something regarding that. We are wanting to get as much fruit-bearing plants in our landscape as possible. That's a goal that me and my wife have had for several years now, really, and it's just been in the last few years that I'm able to bring this to happen. So when I get done here, maybe I'll show you a couple more trees that I have. I've put them on past videos. I've just never said a lot about them. And but I'm going to try to plant this, and I've got to, hopefully I can get it straightened up. It started growing crooked, so I don't know. I've got to work with it and play around with it and see that I can do that. But according to the weatherman now, after lunch, it's supposed to start raining. So I just talked to my good friend, Mr. Lon Howell, the homesteading pastor. Just talked to him by phone, and he was actually down in South Carolina, I think's where he lives, and he was traveling, but he said it was flat pouring down rain down there, and I said, well, the sun's out here. So anyway, it's so good to hear from him today. So anyway, we're going to try to get this thing in the ground. Okay, guys, I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's a little root that popped up right there. I want to try to work that down in the soil if I can. And I don't know if this thing's going to make it, because this thing was actually bigger than I wanted it to be to move it. So, but we're going to try and try to water it in good. And that way, you know, if we don't get no rain, it'll be watered. That soil, this actually grew down there in my compost pile, so the soil around it is just as black as it can be. So I'm not going to worry about fertilizing it this year. If it makes it, then next year we'll probably put a little fertilizer to it. So, but I've already clipped it back a little bit to kind of start shaping it. It's not really ideal to what I want, but I'll make the best of it. Guys, I had the camera turned up and you didn't even see me. Y'all didn't even see me covering that up, so apologize for that. But right here, actually more over in this area right here, we have actually they come up everywhere around here, southern redbud trees. And we there was a good sized tree right here, and storm, one of the hurricanes, blew it over, and so we lost that shade and probably got it just a little too close. Ideally it should have been right there, but I know with all those roots that's in the ground, there's no way I can get it out. But you can see where I dug those. These are actually the sprouts off those red buds. They come up everywhere around here. But anyhow, that's it. And we'll see what it does. No, give it some time. I'll show you the other trees I have. Okay, this is an old-fashioned pie cherry. I don't know the name of it. This came from my wife's grandfather's trees that he had. We actually got a sprout, and it's the only one I could find. And guys, if you'll look down here at the bottom, you'll see how it's forked. And I don't like that, but you know, I'll just have to use, I had to use what I could get, but hopefully I can get sprouts coming off of this thing, because once the birds drop the seeds, they come up everywhere. But these make some of the best cherry cobblers, cherry pies that you've ever put in your mouth, guys. And biggest thing is keeping the birds out of them. And it is close to the house here, so you know, hopefully we can help. That'll help with that some. But I've got another tree right here. This is an apple tree, and I do not know what variety of apple this is. This tree volunteered and come up in the garden, and as you can see, it needs some major pruning. I don't know if I can save this tree or not, but I've got to do some serious, and I mean serious, pruning on it. It started growing like that before I could get to it. It grew faster than I realized it would, and I would have got to it sooner. But we're going to try to see what we can do with it a little later on. It's a little early yet to do any kind of pruning on an apple tree. But my assumption, this is a... my mind went blank, guys. Y'all ever have that problem? But this would be a Macintosh, because if it was thrown out from scraps, we buy a lot of Macintosh apples. We love those apples. And so that would be my thoughts, if that could be what it is. I don't know, what remains to be seen. But we'll walk down here. I'll show you something else I've got. Okay, this is a little persimmon tree, guys, that it came up down there close to the peach tree where it was at, and I transplanted it out here, and it has really grown. And I pruned it back just a little bit the same day I done the blueberry bushes, so to kind of shape it a little bit. And I hope it's not a male tree. My neighbor that lives down below me here, he has a male tree in his yard, so I don't know. We'll see what this one has. And but be glad when I can have my own persimmons. Looks like the trees we've been gathering those on are dying, so we got to have new stock. So anyway, and this right here is our fig bush. You know, we bought this back last fall, and I put some mulch around it, and I'm just noticing, guys, there's little buds right on top, so that tells me that the cold has not hurt it yet. I'm a little concerned. I don't know there's any truth to it or not, but I've heard that our weather is really going to turn cold for the remainder of January. We'll see. You know, it is wintertime. It's supposed to be cold in wintertime, and it's supposed to be hot in the summertime. So, and there's a sprig of garlic that I brought up here from my mom and dad's. We'll see what it does. So anyway, guys, I just thought I'd show you that, and encourage you to try to set you out some fruit trees if you have a spot that you can do that. I don't like anything up close to my house or a structure, a tree that is, to have it close to a structure. But in my backyard, I've got a power line that runs all the way through it, so it's kind of hard for me to have anything big back here. But I do want as many fruit trees as I can possibly have, and I encourage you to try that. If you can find some fruit trees. There's a gentleman that lived down in the country where I grew up. He had an apple orchard, and I remember as a boy I'd go over and help him. I would mow under the trees, and him and his wife would go out and they would prune the trees, you know, in the early spring, and I would help them, you know, gathering up the branches and stuff. And I remember one year he had a guy that came and got all of those, and he used those to smoke some meat with. And that's the first time I'd ever heard that, and I just found that unique. And so, but anyway, I remember helping him do that, and that was fun to learn that. So guys, I'm gonna get off of here today, and I hope y'all had a good week, and stay safe out there. And just like I keep saying, just keep remembering each one of us in prayer, because we need that now more than ever. And so y'all have a great day, and we'll talk to you the next time. Thank you from Little NC Farmer.